What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. In today's video, we're hopping into Predator vs. Spider-Man, issue number 3, as this story is reaching its close with only one more issue left after this. We finally get to see Spider-Man taking on a Predator, when we have a bad blood showing up in New York City. Humans referring to it as a skinner, simply because he has been skinning people alive all across the city. But Spider-Man's not the only one out here looking. Kraven the Hunter is also on the prowl, the self-proclaimed world's greatest hunter. He believes that he has found his ultimate prey. He believes he has found the ultimate hunt. If this wasn't enough, there are others looking for the bad blood. When the Predator ship drops on Spider-Man, they go looking for the clues. They've come to clean up their own. With that being said, let's dive into this breakdown. Alright guys, we're picking up at the Daily Bugle offices. And on top of the Bugle, this is where we have the Predators. As the three make their descent into the building, Peter Parker's spider senses, they go tingling. With him getting Jonah to safety, he suits up. In his preparation, this is what gives the Predators the opportunity to look around. And it doesn't take long for the hunting party to figure out exactly what they came for. They found the blood trail, the one that Peter has been mapping out. They've come for one of their own, the one with no clan, with no code, the one that disgraces them all. This is when your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man pops in, catching the Predators by surprise. In their shock, they turn on him. They throw their weapons. They attack. And not a single blow is able to land on him. The truth is, these Predators have no idea what is in store. This is what picks us up with Kraven the Hunter. Kraven is ensuring that the power doesn't come back on. He wants to keep the power off in New York City. If news gets out about what's happening, the Avengers are going to show up. And he wants this hunt all to himself. He knew that this was going to take time and patience. This was not your standard prey. And so over the last few days, the crime scenes, they range from nursing homes in Harlem to habitats at the Brooklyn Zoo. There was nothing and nobody that was safe. The Skinner was on a rampage. But New York is a city of eyes, windows, and cameras. Kraven knew that if the Predator was killing throughout the boroughs, if he hadn't been seen or recorded, that means he's traveling below, not above. The Skinner is hiding in the sewers. This is what picks us up below New York City. We pick up with Mary Jane, the homeless man that had tried to bring them to safety, trying to explain what this is. They find themselves in the lair of the Skinner, in his throne room, with Mary Jane in a panic trying to figure out what the heck they're gonna do next. They hear the cry for help, but our homeless man, he knows that this is just a ploy, that is the Skinner, his way of tricking you. But this homeless man knows that they gotta hide. They gotta find somewhere safe to go until the Skinner passes. And so he leads the two girls into a location, a spot where it opens up and we find nothing but rats. Hundreds upon thousands, all stacked on top of one another, and the homeless man, he pushes the girls right in there as they disappear, as they drown in the sea of rats. Their screams are no longer heard under the screeching of the rats themselves. But this also was the perfect camouflage. When our bad blood comes into the room, the only thing he sees is the homeless man. With his last words, he tells the girls to stay down, to stay safe, as we see the blade piercing through his back. Hopping back over to Spidey, we got the hunting party. Now, these guys aren't extremely focused on Spider-Man. The truth is, they're here after one of their own. They don't really have time for diversions such as Spider-Man. He's more of a nuance, that is until he isn't. When Spidey takes one of their masks and rip it off their face, this is when he really gets their attention. Claws out, ready to attack. We have two of them charging in on Spider-Man, but he webs them both in the face, jumping back and smashing their skulls together. He knocks two of them unconscious, but then his Spidey senses go off. Not really understanding what's going on, we see a fiery explosion. With this explosion, it almost takes out Jonah. Had it not been for the detective saving his life, Jameson would have been smashed right here on this concrete, and he would have been smashed by a webbed up predator, completely cocooned inside. Jameson and the detective, they look at this thing trying to figure out what the hell is going on. Serial killings, a mass explosion, and then this giant thing that looks like webbing all wrapped up. As the detective goes to inspect it just a little bit closer, that's when the predator pops out, breaking free of the cocoon. It goes directly after Jonah and the detective. And that is where this issue will end. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. You know, one of my biggest complaints when it comes to the Predator versus series, they're always so short. There's so little going on, there's so little dialogue, so little detail. I mean, hell, these stories are so hard to even, tell you guys in some depth of what's going on. It's cool to see some panels. It's cool to see Spider-Man going against predators. But it almost feels like just fluff. Like you have the opportunity to truly tell an amazing story. I know they're only given 4 issues, but you can do some pretty badass stuff with 4 issues. This almost feels like, I could say this for most of the Predator versus series so far. Most of it just feels like quirky 15-year-old kid writing it. Now, for all the faults of Alien vs. Avengers, it had some impact. Entire planets were wiped away. Heroes were taken out. Humanity was pushed to the brink of extinction. But in 3 issues of Predator vs. Spider-Man, it took 3 issues for Spider-Man to even confront one of them. So besides the nostalgic aspect of Predator versus Marvel kind of stuff, I really do find these comics to be lacking a lot of substance. But putting all of that to the side, if you go into it just looking at it as dumb comic fun, Spider-Man versus the Predator, it can be enjoyable. But I just feel like it just hasn't reached its full potential. Especially when we're talking about Spider-Man going against predators. We expect the best. We expect those quirky lines, of course. But we expect a little bit something more from it. Almost feels like it's fanfare or these guys are just phoning it in these days. Definitely not as eventful as Wolverine versus Predator, but hopefully the last issue is really gonna prove me wrong. Hopefully the last issue brings it like nothing has ever brought it before. But let me know what you guys think. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your theories. If you want to get caught up on everything going on with this series, go ahead, check out the link in my description as well as the top of this video. It's going to get you completely caught up on everything going on with this series. If you would like to support the channel, you can always do so by joining the channel membership. Much like Patreon, having multiple different tiers, from $1 to $50 from loyalty badges to comics every single month. Not only are you helping out the channel tremendously, you are getting tons of perks in the process. But if you're not able to do that, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, like this video, hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of the content we have coming out. And with that being said, until the next breakdown.